Hey guys, welcome back to the craft room. So I had a request to do the owl wallet from Off With Your Threads, and today I'm going to do that, and you're going to see how I mess it up as well. These are the finished products. Put little Velcro dots in. They don't look too bad, but I'm going to show you the mistakes I made so that you don't make them too. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. And if you have a request for a design, please leave a comment below and I'll see what I can do for you. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is hoop your Tearaway stabilizer. So if you are using a 5x7 hoop or anything smaller than a 6x10, then you need to do this particular part twice. If you have a 6x10 or bigger hoop, which I have a 7x14, so I'm going to do all of them together. So this particular design comes with just the 2 card slots that you'll have to do twice, or 4 card slots for the whole wallet. And this is going to be completely independent. So there's 1 color stop for the whole thing. So it's going to stitch out each one. So because I'm not exactly sure how big of a piece of vinyl I'm going to need for all 4, I'm going to let it run once just to give me a placement stitch. Then I'm going to run it again a second time to actually tack down the vinyl. Okay, so I just placed a piece of vinyl that was bigger than the 4 outlines. Let me show you here. There they are underneath there. And I'm about to run this step one more time just to tack them down, and then we'll go from there. So now all 4 of these are done. Again, if you are using a 5x7 hoop or one smaller than a 6x10, you need to make sure you have 4 total of these card slots. So what you're going to do now is unhoop them, and you're going to trim around these lines here, and then we're going to be back for the next part of this. Okay, so the next step is to use the next design, which is called the exterior step 1. So what this is the back of the wallet with the owl's face on it. So you want to get your hoop. This time I'm using my 5x7 hoop. And you want to put Tearaway stabilizer in it, and then run stop 1, which is going to be the placement stitch for the vinyl. Okay, so before you do stop 2, you're going to put your vinyl, and you want to make sure that the vinyl goes past these lines here. And even though the design is a white owl, I wanted to do it on black, and I think it's going to turn out great. So step 2 is going to be the yellow part of the eyes. Okay, so step 3 is the details, such as the beak, the outlines, and the pupils. So because I'm using black vinyl, instead of using black like you normally would, I'm actually going to be using silver. Okay, so I actually paused it here after the beak because I got to thinking I did not want the pupils to be silver. So I want them to be black since they'll have the white inside them. So as soon as it's done with the pupils, I'm going to pause it again before it does the details. Step 4 is the white parts of the pupil. Okay, step 5 is actually going to be the, I don't know if I would call it a tack down stitch or what, but it's going to stitch the outline of the wallet. I'm going to change my thread real quick. And here we go with step 5. So before we go on, you're supposed to unhoop this, trim it down around outside of these lines, and then rehoop your hoop with some tearaway, and then we will start on the third design. So I will be back when I do that. So this is the third or fourth, depending upon how you did your card pockets, and final hooping that you'll do. Again, tearaway stabilizer. I'm using my 5x7 again. Stitch number 1 is going to be the placement stitch for the vinyl. Okay, so now we're going to put vinyl that covers this whole piece here. And then we're going to run the next stop, which is stop 2, which is going to give us the placement lines for the card pockets. And step 2 again is the placement stitch for the card pockets. Okay, so step 3 is going to tack down this first card pocket here on this second line. So you want to make sure that the card pocket is over that stitch line, that tack down line. And I taped it down just to hold it in place. So step 4 is going to repeat that with the next card pocket below it. So remember, as we're doing this, this is the outer edge of the wallet, so you want your openings to be towards the middle. Again, I taped it down, and this will be stop 4. So stop 5 is going to do this line right here, and the opening will be up here. So you want to, it will be attached there. So before you do step 7, you need to take your hoop off, flip it over, and you're going to put this piece on there. And I probably trimmed mine just a little bit too close for comfort, but it does work. It still goes over lines. It was quite easy to figure out where to put it from that placement stitch because of how close I trimmed it, but I did tape the heck out of it just to keep it in place, and I probably advise that you should do the same. So I'm going to flip the hoop back over. I'm going to make sure that the card pockets are taped down really well before I run this last step. The reason I use this blue tape is because it's going to be stitched over. It holds really good. It's easy to pick out from the stitches, and it doesn't seem to really gum up your needle very much. And this is step 7. So what happened is, while going this way, I put the piece of tape over this, thinking I was going to be able to save this, but I'm not going to be able to. So when it came to here, this card pocket, I did not have it taped down well enough. Presser foot went under it, and at the same time, the needle sewed this piece of vinyl to the presser foot. So I had to get in there, clip a couple threads. The needle broke, obviously. So I taped it down here, and I tried to back my machine up. And unfortunately, it is now off track because of this. So if I was to sew right now, this line right here, it's actually going to sew right here, which will close this this card pocket. So what I'm going to do with this particular one is I'm going to sew it with my sewing machine and be able to save it. So a couple things for the next one I do. First, I'm not going to trim these so close. I wasn't sure if I needed to. I would prefer to have some over, just so when it comes sewing, if you look here where it started to sew, it's just barely going to catch these. And I would much rather have a little bit of wiggle room here for it to get in. So with these card pockets, the design starts here, goes this way, then it comes here. So right here really needs to be secured, these two right here. Then it's going to come down here, here, and go up. Then on this one, it's going to go this way. So this right here where this tape is really needs to be secure. And it's going to go down, around, and over. Again, this one, unfortunately, cannot be saved as far as the embroidery design being finished in the hoop. I can put it on my sewing machine, finish it, no harm, no foul. So I'm going to stitch another one real quick, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the second one, and up to this point, everything has been the same. So this is the third hoop, and this is step 2, which is, bear with me here, the placement stitch for the cards, the card pockets. So this is olyfun instead of vinyl, and I got to looking at the other one, and it was just kind of bulky, so I'm going to try this one with olyfun and see how this works. This will be the inside of the wallet, and the card pockets will be attached to it. Okay, so the next difference is the card slots. I did trim the top really short, and then the bottom I left maybe 1/8 of an inch, but the sides I left a bigger space, and that's only because if for some reason it wasn't to do exactly on this line, say it went just a little bit over here, it would not catch these card slots. So just like with the card slots, with the back, I left a bigger space here, and I lined it up as best as I could with the placement stitch underneath here. This is the bottom, so it's gonna flip over, and this is the step that the first one messed up on. So what I did is I made sure to put plenty of tape right here and right here, so when that presser foot stitches here, it's gonna glide over the tape instead of snagging that like it did before. This is step 7, which attaches the back to the front and tacks down the card slots completely all around. And as you can see, it does not like sewing through all these layers of vinyl. So that's why I changed to olyfun to help with this problem. So let me rethread my machine, I'll be back. And there it is, all finished. So now I need to take it out of the hoop, trim it down, and I'll show you what it looks like. This is the first one, the one that was not able to be completed in the hoop. I did have to go sew it on the sewing machine. It's really hard to duplicate this part, so I didn't even try to. But I did make sure that the card pockets were sewn down. Doesn't look horrible, but definitely doesn't have the same quality as if it had been finished in the hoop. So what I'm going to do with this is probably put a Velcro dot to hold it closed. But other than that, and this is the one that has the vinyl liner. This one is the second one I did. And apparently, because remember this is on the bottom, my bobbin went nuts only in the areas that sewed over all these layers. So I had to clean it up as best as I could. The inside does not look bad at all. This is the olyfun. Again, I'm going to put a Velcro dot on it. Don't really like these shaggy look. But I ran my sewing machine just right over this line here. Alright, you can probably just barely see it. Just to make sure that it didn't come undone when I cleaned it up. I do like the black owl. But I wanted to show everyone that it doesn't always work out the way that it's supposed to. And how some machines can have a fit trying to go over all these layers right here. So you have vinyl with stabilizer, vinyl with stabilizer. Vinyl with stabilizer on the back side, as well as the inside here, which is, in my case, olyfun on this one, but vinyl on the other one. As you can see, it's pretty thick. So, if you haven't done so already, like and subscribe. And let me know if you want me to stitch out something else. I may go ahead and try to stitch out one on a different kind of vinyl other than this one, and see if it has any different. This is a marine vinyl that I got. I just thought it would make really cool looking wallets. See you soon.